Hi friends, welcome to this video on TDS on non-resident payment being web hosting charges. Non-resident payments have to be made only after TDS if the payment includes income chargeable to tax in India. Let us understand in this video various nuances of the tax provisions on this topic. Please like the video and subscribe the channel for free. This case is of EPRSS Prepaid Recharge Services India Private Limited versus the Income Tax Officer, Pune. This is a case by Pune ITAT. The grounds of appeal. First, the learned CIT Appeals 1 Pune erred in law and on facts in confirming the learned assessing officer's decision of disallowing payment towards web hosting charges to Amazon Web Services LLC, USA, amounting to 18,61,000 under Section 40 bracket small a bracket 1 of the IT Act, on the analogy that the payment is in the nature of royalty as per newly inserted explanation 2 to Section 916 of IT Act 1961 having a retrospective effect. Point number 2. The learned CIT Appeals 1 Pune and the learned AO erred in law and on facts in holding that payment towards web hosting charges to Amazon Web Services LLC amounting to 18,61,207 accrues as taxable income of the said party in India without dealing with the applicability of Indo-USA DTA. The learned IT authorities ought to have appreciated that the DTAA overrides the provisions of IT Act 1961 anyway, and as per DTAA, no any such income accrues in India in absence of permanent establishment. Disallowance under Section 40A1 of the Act on the analogy that payment was in the nature of royalty as per newly inserted explanation to Section 916 of the Act having retrospective effect. The assessee is also aggrieved by the orders of authorities in holding that payment towards web hosting charges to AWS amounting to 18,61,207 accrued as taxable income of said party in India without dealing with the applicability of Indo-US DTAA. In the facts of the case, the assessee had furnished return of income declaring nil income. The case of assessee was picked up for scrutiny. The assessee was a private limited company and was engaged in distribution of recharge pens of various DTH providers like Sun Director TV Private Limited and Idea Cellular to its distributors via online network. The net profit shown was 18,16,439 and the income computed under the head profits and gains from business or profession was 12,79,435. The assessing officer noted that under the head administrative expenses, the assessee had claimed web hosting charges of 24,92,342. The assessee explained the nature of web hosting services, that is, it requires servers to run various online recharges. Due to this, there was very high requirement of servers. Since purchase or maintenance of servers and its upkeep require skilled manpower, and assessee did not have the same, hence servers were taken on hire from Amazon in its cloud units. The assessee also furnished ledger copy of extract of web agreement. The assessing officer noted that total payments made by the assessee to Amazon Web Services for web hosting charges totaled at 18,61,000. This payment was as per agreement between the assessee and AWS. The assessing officer further noted that the assessee was granted limited license and site access to the AWS website for conduct of its activities, for which the assessee was being charged by AWS on monthly basis. Through invoices raised by it, copies of the same were also filed by the assessee. The assessing officer noted that no tax was deducted by the assessee on the payments made under the head web hosting charges. The assessee was asked to justify the same. The assessing officer noted that no tax was deducted by the assessee on the payments made under the head web hosting charges. The assessee argued that there was no obligation on its part to deduct withholding tax on the payment, as the said payment did not fall either in the category of technical fees or royalty. The assessee placed reliance on the decision of Honorable High Court of Delhi in the case of Bharti Cellular Limited, 319 ITR 139, to support its case of payment not falling under the head technical services. The assessee further relied on the ruling of the AAR in the case of Bharti AXA General Insurance Company for the proposition that the payment did not fall in the category of royalty. The assessing officer, however, referred to subsequent amendment to Section 9 of the Finance Act 2012 and observed that payment made by assessee towards web hosting charges was the payment towards royalty, in view of explanation 2 to Section 916 of the Act. The assessing officer observed that it was apparent that the assessee was using servers of AWS through right to use agreement, by which a limited license has been granted to it. Thus, servers were essential to the assessee's business, and exigent factor for entering into such an agreement with AWS was lack of skilled manpower in maintaining such service. He made reference to explanation given by the assessee in this regard. In view thereof, the assessee was held to have made payment by way of web hosting charges for use of servers, which as per the assessing officer was nothing but charges paid for use of commercial equipment within the meaning of Section 916 read with explanation 2 and explanation 5 of the said clause. Thereby, assuming the character of royalty and consequently liable to deduction of tax at source, since the assessee had not deducted withholding tax out of aforesaid payment of 18,61,000, the same was not allowed as deduction in the hands of the assessee as per the order passed by the assessing officer. Before the Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals, the assessee pointed out that Amazon was not having PE in India and therefore its income was not taxable in India. It also explained that from the nature of services being rendered, it could not be said that what assessee was paying to them was royalty under Section 916 of the Act and or under any of its clauses. The assessee also submitted precedents in respect of billing and payment for various services received from Amazon and reiterated that payee has not chargeable to tax in India. Hence, the assessee had no obligation to deduct tax under Section 195. The Commissioner Appeals upheld the order of assessing officer in holding that the payment made by assessee is covered by the term royalty as per the amended provisions of explanation 2 of Section 916 of the Act. Accordingly, disallowance made by assessing officer was upheld by the Commissioner Appeals. Hence, the Commissioner Appeals order came before the ITAT for adjudication. The learned authorized representative for the assessee pointed out that the assessee was engaged mainly in distributorship of recharges. He referred to the amended definition of Section 914A 6A of the Act and also explanation 24A and pointed out that retrospective amendment cannot lead to retrospective TDS obligation. In this regard, he relied on the decisions of the Honorable Bombay High Court in CIT versus NGC Network India Private Limited in Income Tax Appeal Judgment dated 29th January and the Honorable High Court of Delhi in DDIT versus New Skies Satellite BV and others. He then pointed out that first issue was whether TDS liability could be fastened on any person retrospectively. The learned authorized representative for the assessee referred to agreement between the assessee and Amazon and referred to services offered online by Amazon and pointed out that the payment was for pack of services. He then referred to clause of an agreement wherein charges were raised monthly for use of services. The learned authorized representative for assessee pointed out that in order to avail services, it was logging onto the portal using services offered, which were technologically driven services That is a very important point. On the other hand, the charge of assessing officer was that the assessee was using servers or equipment of Amazon. He stressed that the assessee was trader of recharge pens and could not use high-end technology equipments, that is servers. So in this regard, he drew the attention of the court to an example that when any person is making calls, then he has only to use services and not high-end technology provided by service provider. Another example drawn by him was that when any person is watching BBC or CNN, then he is using services but not technology behind it. In this era of evolving to technology, he stressed that the thing to be seen is that what the assessee is availing. Referring to explanation 5 to section 916 of the Act, he pointed out that it refers to deemed accrual. He stressed that explanation 2 to section 916A of the Act was not relevant, wherein explanation 4 and 5 was inserted by Finance Act 2012. The assessing officer had applied explanation 2 4A, read with section explanation 5 to section 916 of the Act. He further referred that when the assessee logging on web, it was using software, but software was not covered by explanation 2 bracket 4A under section 9 of the Act. Then he relied on the ratio laid down by Mumbai Bench of Tribunal in DDA IT versus Savis Communication Corporation. Another point raised by the assessee was whether it was royalty or not, wherein Amazon was providing computing platform, but it was not the owner of royalty. It made such services available, but it cannot be said to be a case of royalty. He referred to guidelines of OECD in this regard and stressed that fundamental principles to be seen is what is royalty. Another aspect which was raised by the authorized representative for assessee was that amendment made was under the IT Act, but not the treaty law. In this regard, he relied on the decision in DDA IT versus New Skies Satellite BV and the Honorable High Court of Delhi DIT versus Infrasoft Limited. The last aspect raised by the assessee was we have to look at the treaty law in this regard. He pointed out that observations of CAT appeals in their order were incorrect. He stressed that the issue of royalty-based taxation was decided in the background of DTAA. Hence, analogy of CAT appeals that DTAA related submissions were not made was incorrect on the facts. The departmental representative for the revenue strongly opposed the contentions proposed by the AR for the assessee. He stated that first issue has to be seen is whether royalty was embedded in service offerings. He referred to agreement between assessee and Amazon and pointed out that under clause 1, it was use of the service offerings. He then referred to other clauses and pointed out that it was a case of FTS, but yes, he admitted that assessing officer's case was a royalty. He then referred to explanation 2 bracket 3, which covers such a situation, but when confronted, he admitted that it was not applied by assessing officer. He then pointed out that assessing officer had applied explanation 4A of section 916A of the Act, whereas rendering of services was as per clause 6, which was not applied by assessing officer. He also pointed out that there were no amendments to DTA. The authorized representative for assessee in his rejoinder pointed out that what was charged was as per annexure 1 to synopsis, that is total of servers made available. In the case of royalty, it was any service which was to be used individually used by it. In respect of explanation 2 bracket 4A of section 9 of the Act, the learned authorized representative for the assessee pointed out that first, he should avail in the earlier realm and then provisions of said section can be applied, which in any case has not been applied by authorities. So the ITAT members analyze the entire issue. The issue which arises in the present appeal is in respect of charges paid by assessee to AWS. The assessee was engaged in sale of recharge pens and did not have the facility available with it of high technology equipment, that is service. So in order to carry on its activity of distributorship of recharge pens, it used servers of Amazon, for which it paid web hosting charges. Before using the services available of Amazon online, it entered into an agreement under which fee structure was provided. Copy of agreement was filed in the paper book. The agreement was called AWS Customer Agreement, and it contained terms and conditions that governs assessee's access to and use of service offerings. It was agreement between Amazon Web Services Inc. and the assessee. It is provided that agreement takes effect when you click an I accept button. Clause 1.1 lays down that the assessee may access and use the service offerings in accordance with agreement. In clause 1.2, it provided that to access services, the assessee must create an AWS account associated with a valid email address. Clause 1.3 provides that if the assessee would like support for the services other than the support we generally provide to other users of services without charge, then assessee can enroll for customer support in accordance with the terms of AWS support guidelines. The clause 2.1 lays down that Amazon could change, discontinue, or deprecate any of the service offerings or change or remove features or functionality of service offerings from time to time. Clause 4.1, the assessee are solely responsible for development, content, operation and maintenance of the content. Clause 5.5 provides the service fees to be paid. Agreement provided that Amazon would calculate and bill fees and charges monthly. It is further agreed that assessee has to pay applicable fees and charges for use of service offerings as described on AWS site using one of the payment modes they support. So the AWS also said that the service offering license under which it is provided that Amazon or its affiliates or licenses own and reserve all right, title and interest in the service offerings. However, limited, revocable, non-exclusive, non-sub-licensable, non-transferable license is granted to assessee to do the following actions. 1. Access and use the service solely in accordance with this agreement and copy and use the AWS content solely in connection with assessee's permitted use of the services.
It is further provided that no rights under this agreement are obtained by the assessee from Amazon or its licensor to the service offerings, including any related intellectual property rights. The terms between the parties are defined as per clause 14, and the terms which are relatable to the issue raised are: AWS content means content we or any of its affiliates make available in connection with the services or on the AWS site to allow access to and use of the services, including WSDLs, that is documentation, sample code, software libraries, command line tools, and other related technology. AWS content does not include the services. AWS marks means any trademarks, service marks, service or trade names, logos, and other designations or AWS and its affiliates that we make available to you in connection with this agreement. The assessee has used services and has made monthly payments to Amazon. The assessee has attached sample invoice of Amazon and ledger extract of Amazon in the paper. The assessee had filed submissions before the assessing officer giving detailed note on web hosting charges, which are as under. Primarily, EPRSS requires servers to run the various online recharges. Due to this, there is a very high requirement of servers. Since purchase or maintenance of servers and its upkeep require skilled manpower, BPRS does not have the same. Hence, servers are taken on hire from Amazon in its cloud units. Ledger extract of web agreement are also attached to prove this. Further, the assessee has also pointed out the nature of its business, wide written note before the assessing officer and explained as under. Primarily, the A requires servers to run the various online recharges. Due to this, there is a very high requirement of servers. Since purchase or maintenance of the servers and its upkeep requires skilled manpower, the A does not have the same. Hence, servers are taken on hire from Amazon in its cloud units. Information about Amazon Web Services and its benefits as provided on website aws.amazon.com. What is AWS is enclosed for the reference. The issue which arises in the present appeal is whether the assessee is liable to deduct withholding tax out of such payments made to Amazon on account of web hosting charges. The total amount involved for the year under consideration was 18,61,000. It may be pointed out that the years under appeal are assessment years 2010, 2011 and 2011, 2012. Various decisions have been rendered on the issue, and position prior to 2012 amendment was that the payments made on account of web hosting charges was not leading to accrual of income in the hands of foreign enterprises and hence not liable to deduct or withholding of tax. The lead decision on the issue was by the Honorable High Court of Madras in Skycell Communications Limited versus DCIT. The case of revenue authorities is that due to amendment in the year 2012 with retrospective effect from 1st April 1976, under which explanation 5 has been inserted under section 9 subsection 1 clause 6 of the Act. The payments made by assessee were in the nature of royalty and hence the assessee was liable to deduct withholding tax. The first and foremost is whether such retrospective amendment in the Act could lead to retrospective TDS obligation on the part of the assessee for deducting or withholding of the tax. It is admitted position that law does not compel a person to do something which he cannot possibly perform. The amendment to section 9 subsection 1 clause 6 of the Act has been made effective from 1st April 1976, whereas the years under appeal are assessment years 2010-11 and 2011-12. So even if a retrospective amendment has been made in the Income Tax Act, but such retrospective effect cannot be given to the years which had already been closed before amendment came into force. Further, under the garb of retrospective amendment, the assessee cannot be fastened with an obligation which he cannot perform. The assessee had made payments to foreign party, namely Amazon. The payments have already been made in financial years 2009-10 and 2010-11. And once the payments have already been released or shown to have accrued to the said party, then under the garb of retrospective amendment, such payments which are due to the person or which has already been paid cannot be withdrawn. There is no merit in the orders of authorities in holding otherwise. In this regard, the ITAD support from the. Now coming to the next aspect raised by assessee, which is linked to as to whether retrospective amendment in income tax would override the treaty laws where no amendment has been made. It is clear that retrospective amendment has changed the definition of royalty from the year 2012 under the Income Tax Act. But the position of DTAA between two countries has not been affected. No such amendment has been made to the treaty laws, and in DTAA, position similar to explanation 5 is not envisaged at all. This is the plea raised by the learned authorized representative for the assessee. He further pleaded that in order to construe meaning of royalty as per DTAA, Since the provisions of treaty takes precedent over provisions of Income Tax Act, where the assessee does not possess and does not have any control over the server or server space being deployed by Amazon while providing e-services as per agreement, then there is no scope to construe that e-service charges paid to Amazon could be described as royalty. There is merit in the plea of assessee. If we construe the meaning of royalty as per DTAA, then we have to consider the possibility of possession and control of server or server space, which admittedly is not possessed by the assessee. Hence, as per treaty laws, the assessee cannot be held to have paid royalty to Amazon. Consequently, the payment made by assessee for web hosting services is not taxable in accordance with DTAA, and the same cannot be held to be taxable, only because there was a retrospective amendment to Section 9, Subsection 1, Clause 6 of the Act. In any case, the courts have held that when there is no amendment to the treaty laws, then the said treaty laws would override the amendment, if any, whether retrospective or otherwise, to the Income Tax Act. Such a view has been taken in DDIT versus New Skies Satellite PV. Consequently, there is no merit in holding that the assessee was liable to deduct withholding tax out of such payments made to Amazon, and for such non-deduction or withholding of tax, the assessee can be held to be at default, and the payment made by assessee be not allowed as deduction in its hands, in view of provisions of Section 40A1 of the Act. Hence, the ITAT reversed the orders of authorities below in this regard. They said they are not going into issue raised by assessee that Amazon is not having PE in India, hence no liability to deduct tax in India. Now, another issue which needs to be seen is whether charges paid to Amazon for various services provided by it are in the nature of royalty, if any, or not. The assessee has placed on record the copy of agreement with Amazon, which we have referred in paras above. He has also placed on record the copies of bills raised by Amazon online. The perusal of details filed by assessee of monthly charges paid, it transpires that the same are fluctuating from month to month, and there is no regular payment being made to Amazon. In case of provision of royalty to a person, then as seen from the terms and conditions of various agreements, there is fixation of price to be paid, and there may be variation on account of use of certain services. But first, there has to be basic fixed price. However, in the facts of present case, looking at the documentation, the billing is segregated into various services, that is AWS services, storage services, etc. And the assessee before us has filed a chart of summary of services available. The first such services are on account of service charges for Elastic Compute Cloud. As per clause 1, it is on account of use of service provider Linux. As per clause 1.2, Windows. As per 1.3, Windows and SQL Server Standard. And clause 1.4, bandwidth. The total charges for Elastic Compute Cloud are $40,253. The month-wise details of said payments made by assessee from September 2009 to March 2010 reflected that in the first month charges totaled to $4,269, in October at $5,599, and thereon. So the next point was the Honorable High Court of Madras in SkyCell Communications Limited versus DCIT have held that web hosting charges are not in the nature of royalty. The said principle has further been applied in various decisions of the tribunal as relied upon by the learned authorized representative for the assessee. The aspect which needs to be seen is whether the assessee is paying consideration for getting any right in respect of any property. The assessee claims that it does not pay for such right, but it only pays for the services. The claim of assessee before us was that it was only using services provided by Amazon and was not concerned with the rights in technology. The fees paid by assessee was for use of technology and cannot be said to be for use of royalty, which stands proven by the factum of charges being not fixed but variable. That is, it varies with the use of technology driven services, and also use of such services does not give rise to any right in property of Amazon, and consequently explanation under section 9 subsection 1 clause 6 of the act is not retracted. It may be pointed out here in itself that the assessing officer had applied explanation to clause 4a under section 9 subsection 1 clause 6 of the act in order to hold the assessee as having defaulted for non-deducting withholding tax. First of all, main provisions of section 9 subsection 1 clause 6 of the act are not attracted as the payment made by assessee is not in the nature of royalty. In any case, explanation 2 clause 4a of section 9 subsection 1 clause 6 of the act covers cases of royalty, that is, consideration paid for use or right to use any industrial, commercial or scientific equipment, but not including the amount referred to in section 44bb of the act. The assessee in the present case did not use or acquire any right to use any industrial, commercial or scientific equipment while using the technology services provided by Amazon, and hence the payment made by assessee cannot be said to be covered under clause 4a to explanation 2 to section 916 of the act. In other words, even if the retrospective amendment is held to be applicable, the case of assessee of payment to Amazon being outside the scope of said explanation 2 clause 4a to section 9 subsection 1 clause 6 of the act cannot make the assessee liable to deduct tax at source. In other words, the assessee is not liable to deduct withholding tax, and such non-deduction of withholding tax does not render the assessee in default, and consequently no disallowance of amount paid as web hosting charges is to be made in the hands of the assessee for such non-deduction of withholding tax, and hence provisions of section 40 clause 8 subclause 1 of the act are not retracted. The grounds of appeal raised by assessee are thus allowed. In the result, both the appeals of assessee are allowed under this case law. Thank you for a patient hearing. This was a very long case. In order to get more such videos, kindly subscribe this channel and click on bell button to receive new videos in real time. Please like the video in order to encourage to make more such videos.